the link to my Facebook page. Is it streaming there? Okay, it does look like it is streaming. Right, Facebook. I don't even know if that link.
Oh, I'm streaming on YouTube now. I see
Is it
it.
working on YouTube now?
It's working for me.
Okay. Now we're on YouTube, guys. All right. We'll do it live. We're live.
Want to run it back, Alice? They want to hear it one more time, the folks on LinkedIn.
One more time. Okay. All right.
And action.
We are live, I hope. And I'm excited today to talk about FigJam. And I have with me my friends Lauren and David. Go ahead and Lauren, introduce yourself again. Sorry about that.
No, all good. So happy to be here. Hi, everyone. How are you? So good to meet a bunch of you and see you here on the call. I'm a longtime friend of Alice's, but first-time caller into the live stream. I have the immense honor of getting to lead the education team here at Figma, home of FigJam, that we're going to talk about today. Before this, I worked on the Google for Education team for many years. So if any of you are classroom users or Google Workspace users or anything like that, maybe we've connected in the past. And then before that, I was a middle school English teacher. And I'm psyched to be joined here with my teammate, David. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Lauren, thank you. My name is David. I've been a classroom teacher for the last 10 years. I've been teaching everything from 3rd grade to 8th grade here on the Central Coast of California. So yeah, I started doing 3rd grade, all of it. And then most recently have been teaching middle school and specifically precision manufacturing, engineering. So you can think makerspace, think laser cutting, 3D printing, and you can even you can actually see some of the stuff that my students made. Lauren is sporting those awesome earrings that my students middle school Figma earrings. Some 11-year-olds designed those in Figma, sent them to a laser cutter. And yeah, it's just really fun to see stuff from the screen come to life. And it was actually through using Figma and FigJam in my classrooms that I landed a job here. Started, here about 3 months ago working at Figma, and I'm just really hopeful to bring the magic and just the power that I saw in my classrooms of these amazing tools to educators like you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I love that you have student artwork on you, Lauren, today. And that's what I really love about FigJam is that it allows students to have that voice and to be actively engaged in what they're learning. So we're going to share about that today. We have a few people to just kind of wave to. Hi, Chaya. She's teaching science to elementary there in Florida. We have Deidre here. Hey, Deidre. Won't be able to get everybody, but we are now working on YouTube, so appreciate that. Thanks, Gail. My friend Gabby from Peru. So hello, welcome. Selena's in here. We have Martine from New Zealand. So we got a lot of people joining us. Thank you. We got Katie, from Argentina. Great to have you. Hi, Lisa. My friend Lisa. We have our kindergarten friend, Mrs. Dietrich. Thanks for joining in. And then we have another Peru user. I'm going to Peru next week. It's one of my favorite places. So thanks to all my Peru friends for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to have to reshare my screen because I restarted due to the glitch. It's no longer available. So just give me 2 seconds and I will have it. And there it is. So today we are looking at FigJam. Now, you may have heard about the Google Jamboard announcement. Now, I, of course, wrote a book about teaching with Jamboard. So I have made literally hundreds of jams. And Google's decided that they are no longer going to support Google Jamboard. So
how do you feel about that, Alice? You're like the Jamboard queen.
I mean, you got the crown on in this image.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of excited. I do love Jamboard because I'm really about collaboration. That's what I've always emphasized with, hey, you should use this tool. But the reason is because I just love the collaboration space. But as we all know, Jamboard was a little bit limiting. And that's what's so great about Figma that I'm really excited to move over. I'm not making any more Jamboards. I'm done. Now that I've started using FigJam, I am hooked. So much more features and fun things that I can do and better ways that I can really collaborate with students and create student groups. So I would love to invite our viewers to share what is it that they think that they will miss about Jamboard so that we can tell you why we think FigJam is going to solve all your problems.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. Myself, when I was working at Google, and they reached out to me about starting the education team here at Figma, I saw FigJam, and at the time I was covering Jamboard, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is everything I always hoped that Jamboard would become. It has all the features I always wanted us to build at Google." And so it's really cool, kind of like full circle moment for me to be here on the other side.
So I know it was you, David, but David mentioned that he would like to have the laser pointer, but there's actually an upgrade in Figma for doing a spotlight. Now, I think, David, this is your FigJam, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes, the FigJam that you're actually seeing, this is a file that I made. We're live. And yeah, there's some really cool features. You can spotlight yourself. So I can spotlight me, and then everyone inside the file can go ahead and kind of follow along. Kind of like your favorite, classic playground game of follow the leader is, yeah,
I'm
available
hands-free
here.
right now. So, David, why don't you just kind of move around
Oh,
with
yeah.
the spotlight so that we're able to, so he's spotlighting himself. That means that we're all going to move with him around this infinite canvas that is FigJam. So I love this because when I have all my students together in the FigJam, there's no like, hey, we're on this page. I remember that with Jamboard. I have to tell the students, I'm on page 12. It's not easy to really find those pages. You had to expand out the frame bar. So now using FigJam, notice he's zooming in and out. He's moving it around. I'm hands-free here. So I'm following along with the lesson and all the pieces that we're doing. And then, of course, you can just use the emotes. So like a laser pointer, but obviously way cooler.
Awesome. And then you can stop the spotlight, and I can even follow specific people in the file. So I could go and see what Lauren's doing. And this is great for a lot of collaborative process where oftentimes as the educator, I don't want to be the only one. I can see Lauren's really zooming in on that crown that Alice is sporting, adding in some cool stamps. And when I use this in my middle school, I found that there were oftentimes I was giving students more of a chance to share to the class what they're learning and how they're learning things, rather than me being the talk track that is happening. So just the simple feature of, hey, everyone, can you go ahead and just like click on Wendy really quick? Let's see what she's doing. And Wendy, do you mind sharing your process? Super fun to really give access to everyone in the driving seat of the learning and not just the teacher.
Yeah, and that's just a really simple feature. I don't know if you know this about Google Docs in general, but if you click on the little sharing icons up at the top, you can jump to where that person is. So that's always been one of my favorite features about Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. But FigJam takes this to a whole new level to actually help you to move with the user. So that's really a nice feature. Really help the students to stay focused where we want them to be focused. All right, so we have Selena who says she loved the collaboration aspect of Jamboard. And I could not agree more with you, Selena. And that's why you're going to really love FigJam, because it is that and better. This canvas allows them to collaborate around different widgets and things that makes this just more fun. But in the same way, you just share the file. You'll see there's a share button up in the corner there. I don't know if I can zoom in. So just because I'm on the StreamYard. Deidre says Jamboard is easy. I agree. I mean, that is a lot of times why I chose to use Jamboard, but also FigJam is easy. You can get crazy with it. It has so many features, and we're going to get together at the end of this month or in November, because I'm going to be sharing out tips and how to convert over for this entire month. And so when you're ready to say like, okay, I've got this down. I'm doing the things that I did in Jamboard, but doesn't this do even more? It really does. And does even more like really fun things like take a photo booth picture and add polls. And we'll hopefully have a little time at the end to kind of demonstrate a little bit of those things, but we're going to get into those at a later time. Just going to show you how to keep it easy and do it a lot of the ways that you use Jamboard. You're going to be able to use FigJam. So Andrea says Jamboard seems simpler. The FigJam looks intimidating. And it can, because we have all this stuff pre-made. So I'm going to just tell you, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to jump ahead just real quick here. I literally just type in figjam.new. And when I type in figjam.new, I have an open canvas and I can write on it. And I can add a sticky note. So
Nice.
at a very basic level, it is Jamboard. I can go in and write. I can add a sticky note. jamboard.new. I have a share button. I share it just like I did with Jamboard. So if you are a Jamboard user, this is going to feel really familiar, and I think you're going to really like it. I cannot solve this problem for you, Patricia, about the physical 55-inch Jamboard board. For those of you who have the kiosk, I know that there's a few of them out there. I'm going to let your Google representative answer that because we're really focusing here on the FigJam software. But I feel you.
But I do know they have some updates to share about that will be coming out soon because there's been a lot of questions about that. So yeah, stay tuned on that one.
For sure. Hey, Billy, thanks for joining us. Lisa says Jamboard is just so easy from conception to use is like a 3-minute thing. Lisa, it's the same thing. This is the same. You're going to do FigJam.new, and you know what you can do with FigJam that you can't do with Jamboard? You can just drag images on. Do you remember how you had to click on the image icon, then pull it up so you could drag it in? Oh my gosh. So I like to do open middle problems where you drag the digits 0 through 9. So I would make them in Canva and I would download them as PNG files, and I had to painstakingly upload every single one. So I did this the other day. I went to Canva. I downloaded the zip file of all my numbers. I opened the zip file and I dragged 20 numbers over all at once into FigJam. It was just a beautiful thing. And oh my gosh, I could like select all 20 of them and resize them all at once, which you cannot do with Jamboard. Jamboard wouldn't let you do multiple selects. So Dave, you want to just show how you can highlight a whole bunch of things? It's super simple, just like you would expect that you can, there you go, select a lot. You can resize them. You can move them all in groups. Jamboard really didn't let you do that. So I know I spent a lot of time dragging things one at a time when I just wanted to move the whole thing over. So for that reason, FigJam is a huge update for doing those things. So I think you're going to love it, Lisa. From 3 minutes, from conception to 3 minutes, hasn't changed. FigJam.new, create your draggables, just drag your images on there, put text boxes, sticky notes, and then share it with students. You're good to go.
Ooh, I could take this one.
Yeah,
so Valerie asked, does it work with a smartboard? So the good thing about FigJam, and sorry, I know the names are very similar, so it's easy to be like, which one are we talking about? The good thing with FigJam is that it's totally based in the browser. So if you want to use it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, if you want to use it on a literally computer from 1998, you can do that as long as you have internet access, and FigJam.new, you can get on it. So yeah, a lot of teachers have been using it either with a smartboard or even a projector as well. So yeah, any smartboard that has internet access, it should work, especially with like the drop and drag, like Alice was mentioning, with stickies and things like that. It works really well.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Facebook user from New York City. I agree. It was really nice to use with Google Classroom, but if we could admit, it was never built into Google Classroom, right? You had to make the file separately and import it in. So it's just going to be the same process. You're going to do FigJam.new and you're going to just drop the link into Google Classroom. I think you'll find it to be almost as easy as it was before. Valerie says she's at a religious school and she feels throttled at times using technology. I totally hear you, Valerie, but this is a tool it's a giant canvas where you can collaborate, share resources. Now, what I love about it is I sometimes feel like I have all these digital tools that I'm using, and I want students like, go here and go here. And when I put them in Google Classroom, I can't order the links. I can't reorder the resources. I want to have them look at a slides and then go and do an activity, say in Desmos, and those are separate links. So now what I can do is I can actually organize my whole lesson in FigJam. I can put it in the sections. I'm like, click here, and then it has the instruction. It has different element pieces that I can organize it. And actually, when you embed in the FigJam, they don't have to leave the FigJam. So that Google Slides opens up in FigJam. The Google Docs opens in FigJam. I tried this even with Desmos. It opens in the FigJam. And so I'm able to actually put together a fairly complex lesson of different resources all in one place so it feels cohesive, which Google Classroom never let me do.
Yeah, and Alice, that kind of goes to one of my students' biggest complaints is they coined this Mr. Kern's 12-tab tango, where I would have, hyperdocs, hyperlinks, all these things, and then they're just blasted with all these different tabs that they're trying to manage and tabs they've saved or pinned from recent classes. And like you mentioned, in FigJam, you can really package things well, where it's all in one space. You can have one tab learning in its, in its true and pure form.
I'm going to write that down. FigJam is one tab learning. That really is a big difference. It to me feels very overwhelming when I just have a link and I don't have any like way to explain what they're supposed to do when they get there. So in the FigJam, here's the embed of the activity we're doing on some outside resource. And then I'm able to add the sticky notes, the text boxes, the screenshots, a video if I need to. Like, let me explain to you what you're going to be doing before you go in here. Go ahead and click on that. And then they can actually even share and submit their resources back onto this collaborative space. And we'll get into like tricks and ways to do that in the next live stream. This one, we're just trying to keep it simple, introduce you to FigJam, and hopefully that you're so excited to move over. I am. I got to write a new book. But other than that, I'm a little sad about my book. But it's honestly, there's so many pluses to this. I'm really not losing anything. All right.
Yeah, we got to write that next book together.
Yeah, we should. Thanks, Jenna. Yeah, it's just like using Jamboard. And then later on, if you want to go further, you can. So those are some nice features. And hello, other Alice. I obviously think it is a good option for Jamboard users. And so that's where I'm going. I'm excited about it. I've been using it with my students this week. It's super fun. David, can you show those little emote things again for your laser pointer?
Yeah. So if I just hit the E key on my keyboard, this little carousel pops up, and there's these little things called emotes, which are really fun. And I've worked in a lot of digital spaces, and I think a lot of us, when teaching during the pandemic, you can't read body language on a screen, but this is kind of a little nod to reactions are called emotes, like an emotional reaction. How are people reacting to things? Like right now, this lesson's on fire. It's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah. It's lit. So there's fun little things like that.
Press E, right? Press E. So I'm here in the FigJam, and I press E, and the emotes come up, and then the students I'm just long pressing, can draw around with it. So asking them, give me a reaction. How do you feel about this? Instead of just the thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, there's another one, right? So I'm going to push E, and I can switch to stamp. So I can stamp around on there. But what's nice is that when you hover on the stamps, you can actually see who put it there. Like this was Mrs. Keeler. This one was Lauren. This one was David. So you can use that as a quick way to poll. It's built right in there. If you look at the toolbar down at the bottom, it says text box, section, table, and stamps, which it shows the little shortcut there of the E. So just being able to kind of vote on things and see that students are actually engaged in what you're doing and not just passively watching, that is a big deal, because Marsha, you're right. I'm ready for an upgrade. Totally.
I love it. Should we show them, Alice, how to get started?
Yeah, let's do it. So like I showed before, let me switch over to this other tab. I just go to figjam.new, and it gives you this open canvas. Now it has all these like suggestions on there, but as soon as you start writing, that goes away. So it's just trying to give you some hints and tips. But up at the top, it says untitled. So instead of your untitled Jamboard or untitled document in the left, now it's in the center. I literally just click there. I'm able to name it very easily. I also can leave it as untitled. I can just use the highlighter, use the pen, add a sticky note, and design it up like that. So really easy to get started. All right, and then I'm back on this one. Let me zoom out. Come on over here. Now I think this right here is the most important thing to understand, is that FigJam is free. Not kind of free, not freemium. So Lauren, why don't you explain how FigJam is free for educators?
Yeah, that is a great question. So Figma is used I think in 90% of the Fortune 500. So we have a full other commercial enterprise business that we are very fortunate to make a lot of money off of. And so everything we do as schools, we feel very strongly that creativity, access, nothing like that should ever be limited. So yeah, we do everything with FigJam 100% for free. Like Alice said, it's not like the first 3 are free, or it's not like some parts of it are free, but then you're going to find a feature you love and you have to pay for it. 100% free, something we feel very passionate about and that we're going to be sticking by. And so if you want to get started with your account, you can just go to figma.com/education. Alice also put in this great QR code for you there. And the key when you get there is to click get verified. So that's how you get your account, how you get your free education account, and how you can get started.
And the other one is figma.com/education and K-12. So for some other information, is that right?
Yep. I'll also drop in a link here that directly compares Jamboard and FigJam. That might be helpful for you too.
So we have a question. Can you embed video? Willie, of course you can. Take that, Jamboard. In fact, it's really simple. If you want to embed anything, you literally just paste the link. So I'm going to, I do not have this open in, does anyone have a YouTube link handy?
Yeah, I can drop one in really quick.
Yeah, the YouTube is actually like one of my favorite, because I remember when I was a teacher and I'd send my kids to YouTube. Yeah, they might watch the YouTube I sent them to, but I know they wouldn't stop at that YouTube. And so this is great because you can have them watch the video, but they stay within the file. They just are watching this one video. So David, looks like you have a cat video here, The Wonderful World of Cats, and you can embed it in there for them to just watch, but they don't get to access the rest of YouTube.
All right, I'm going to answer these questions while you watch. Boop. And so, I mean, we didn't see it because I wasn't showing it on the exact spot, but literally you just Control V paste. So I'm just going to go to YouTube. I'm going to demonstrate this really quick. Here's our live stream. There we go. So I have the link and I just clicked and Control V, and it just pastes that video right in there from YouTube. And so that makes it really simple to include. And then Google Docs, same way. So I just take my Google Doc and I get the link and I Control V right into the FigJam, and it's embedded in there. There's nothing fancy you have to do. So that's really, really nice.
And that can hold for lots of different types of media. So if you want to share an article with your students, if you want to share a flip and say, hey, watch this flip and then leave me a sticky about what you thought about it, all of that you can just do in one space so that you don't have to, again, like David said, send them on your 12-tab Tango. You can really create one cohesive learning canvas for them.
Yeah, Willie says that's pretty dope. So I'm glad that we were able to show you that this really is an upgrade. And Mark says he's also ready for an upgrade and is excited that it is free. I mean, like, who wouldn't be excited about that? So we've already shown a little bit of how FigJam is similar to Jamboard. I'm trying to go slowly so I don't mix up my words because I'm so used to saying the other one. I've moved on. Right? It has drawing tools, which I already showed, and highlighters, and you can change the font size and the colors. And you didn't have an array of colors with the other product, but do we have all the colors? Oh yeah, so you could draw the Eiffel Tower. It's really actually a great sketching tool.
I will also point out one thing, Alice. I know when I was on Jamboard, some people used to complain about the eraser and having to erase each pixel. So with our eraser, you can erase objects all at once, which is nice if you need to clean something off your board really easily.
So I'm just going to get the tail end of that. You notice I didn't have to erase the whole thing.
I also wanted to show people, if you are of the scrapbooking variety, we have digital washi tape. This is not pedagogically important, but is very cute. So if you want to like decorate your files and give them a little personality, you can add in washi tape around some elements as well. You can actually even make custom washi tape. So I'm going to get a picture here of Alice, smile. All right. And then I'm going to turn this into some custom Alice washi tape.
Now you can't see what she's doing, but it's literally as simple as there's a little plus button at the end of the tape options, and it says upload as you would any file that you've ever done. Picture. And then suddenly you're now making tape with my face. So
kids love tagging stuff. Kids enjoy personalizing. I think it really nods into you're a part of this. we want you to be able to customize it.
Yeah. And that really is an important element of student engagement, is adding those fun pieces where they get to make some different decisions and feeling like it's not just a boring Google Doc of text. This is super important. So I do want to like pause for a second and let you talk, Lauren, about what users are allowed to use it. Is it COPA, FERPA compliant, GDPR, all that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So there's two ways you can get access to Figma. If you just self-serve, just self-sign up without getting your school involved, that's intended only for students to use with students who are over 13. But if we work with you to set it up for your school, it can be set up for all ages. So all the licenses are FERPA compliant, but if you want to use it for under 13, we have a separate term of service to sign with your school. Again, if you go to figma.com/education, or we can send you a follow-up link as well. That's how you can get started with your school. And the great thing about when you set it up with your school, because I remember someone up there said, oh, I don't want my kids to have to create another account on another tool. They won't have to do that. When it's set up with your school, they literally will just say sign in with Google, and then they're popped in and they already have a FigJam account. They don't need to register their name. They don't need to register their email, nothing. It will all be integrated with your school's Google account.
Oh, that's super exciting to hear. Thanks for covering that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can drop a link in for that as well.
Oh, yeah, thanks. That would be awesome. Now, one of the key features of Jamboard, of course, was sticky notes, and they are front and center right here. Just pop it in. I can change the font size. Now, you'll notice I'm able to zoom in very easily, zoom in and out on the canvas. I'm on my trackpad of my laptop, so I'm just pinching with my fingers. And so I'm able to just travel around the canvas very easily. It's a very familiar look. Like I couldn't move around in Jamboard. If you needed more room, you were limited to that paper size canvas. And I oftentimes needed some more room. So this is really nice. And you can put hyperlinks in it. Did I spell that right? And I'm going to make it small. So that should, what happened here? You have to, sorry. There we go. Hyperlink that. There we go. So I'm able to add those hyperlinks. So it's just, I can't tell you how many times I'm trying to share some little resources or the lesson plan. So when I share out my Jam, I would want to be like, okay, teachers, here's the teacher resources, which is separate from this thing that you're going to share with your students, but I couldn't link to it. So this is really happy place. Then of course they could just delete the note.
Yeah, some other things I would point out about sticky notes that I love is the ability to turn on and off authorship. So Alice, if you click one of your sticky notes.
Oh, yeah.
And it brings up, you see that little purple quill on the right? That turns on and off author. So I'm sure it was probably just my students who never put their name on anything, not any of yours, but this is a nice feature too, where it can automatically attribute authorship. And then just some other nice things like you're seeing here, where you can make lists, you can make bulleted lists, you can strike through, you can bold. So just like a lot more, features you can do to the sticky notes versus in Jamboard, even though it is a pretty simple feature.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to kind of wrap up with this one, but there is so many more features, like so many more, that when you're ready, we would love to share those with you. But this is going to be the big difference between Jamboard and FigJam, and that there is no pages. You have this infinite canvas. So I'm going to let Lauren, you talk about the pages part just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously that was probably one of the things you noticed first when you get in here is like, oh, where are my pages? Because that's very, very core to Jamboard structure is, page 1, page 2, page 3. But we get really excited about this more infinite canvas model where your ideas are not limited to the size and the shape of the screen. You're not just having like a digital version of an 8x11 sheet of paper. I don't know if any of you, but oftentimes with Jamboard, I'd be like having a great idea down here and then be like, oh man, like there's no more room for me to expand on this. And so with this, your ideas can totally grow and you're not limited by the space. So yeah, that's kind of the concept here. But on the flip side of that, I think some people might find that scary to say, oh my gosh, like where are my pages? How do I scaffold this? How do I structure this? How do I keep my students structured and following along? And I think there's lots of different ways that you can scaffold the file to do that, probably starting with, we have this feature called sections that Alice is going to show you, where you can simply add them in. You can create them to be any shape or size that you want, and all the information you put into them moves together. I also realize people are asking where's the link for schools. I'm having trouble adding in. For some reason, it won't let me in the comments. So I'll put it on the screen as well.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. That would be awesome. Yeah. So the way that you're going to do this is you'll notice down at the toolbar at the bottom, I love that it's pretty simple, right? I have an eraser or a pen. In fact, you're like, where did the pen go? Why is there an eraser? When I click on that eraser, the other options come up. So I can switch that for the primary tool is a pen or a highlighter or the tape or an eraser. So this in the toolbar at the bottom is defaulting to what I last did. But if you just simply click on it, you'll be able to pull that pen right back up. So you've got your pen tool, the sticky notes, some shapes that you can add, and then text box. And then you have here this section option. So I'm just going to come down here a little bit. And it's freeform, so I can make it any size that I want. And what's really cool about this is that it works for like grouping things. Let me get my images that I have here. If I just pull this in here, where did that go? I lost it. Oh, I see. It's like super huge. That was my fault. I pulled in a picture that I shouldn't have pulled in.
Would you like some pictures of ancient Rome?
There you go. So when I notice we've got these sticky notes, I've got this picture in the section. Now, if I click on the section, you see how the section is highlighted? It's already grouped. So it acts as a page. I'm like, oh, I want this over here. I want this one over here. It's already grouped. So I'm able to actually create these sections like pages. And the thing that I was noticing that makes it really simple is I can right click on the section and it gives me the option to copy the link to the section. So when you copy the link to the section, that's what I share with the students. I create a section for the directions. And I'm like, hey, I want you guys to go to this direction section to get started. And then you can create it with like each of the different elements of the lesson, the different parts of the lesson, or you can create a section per group or per student. So I'm going to create a section here. I'm going to put a sticky note in it. Here's some directions. And you can see that I'm at 38%. That's why it's zoomed out so much. I'm going to drag in a picture, stick that there in my section. I'll make my section a little bit bigger. And then while my section is selected, I just Control C, Control V. And you can see I can really quickly make and drag around the section. So I can have one per student, one per group, different attempts. Like I love open middle where you would want to do a first attempt, analyze why it didn't work, and then try again. So lots of ways to just duplicate the graphic organizer so students can persevere in problem solving. It's literally Control C, Control V. So if you click on that section, it highlights the whole section so you can set up and do your pages. Now you'll notice how David did his is he just did it right here in a linear line. And what is that? Just a dotted line, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so just moving to the right, you can see the real easy progression, but then you have control over how much space you think you need, what you want to put in there. So you can do it with sections, or you can just do it with the way that you organize the page. But if I were to go down here and I copy the link to this section, and then I'm way over here, just going to go to a new tab. I'm pasting that link to the section. Notice it's going to take me down to that 6th section. So now I'm in section 6 where I directed you to go. So if a student, you're like, I need you to do this part. I need you to contribute to this part. Putting it in sections allows you to direct them to that specific thing. You could do that in Jamboard as well because each frame, each page had a unique link. But this is actually a lot nicer because you're limited to only 20 frames. And I have more than 20 students. So that was always a problem.
That's tough. Another thing I'll point out that I love about sections is you can lock everything in the section. So let's say you're like, hey, I want you to edit these 5 ones to the right, but definitely don't touch my instructions. You can lock that whole section so no one can touch it. And then probably my favorite is the hiding. Yeah, exactly. So for your distracted students who maybe tend to want to look ahead, you can hide certain parts of content just so they focus on the first part. So a lot of things you can kind of do with sections here, though. Honestly, that eye makes me want to open it. It is tempting. But yeah, those are some extra bonuses things as well.
So we have a question. Can others write in that section too?
I'm not sure I totally understand the question. There isn't a way that you can say, or sorry, go ahead, Alice.
When you're collaborating with your whole class,
Mhm.
can you restrict one student to a section? Like only that student has permission in that section?
That's a really good question. That's not something we have today. So I couldn't say like, oh, section 6 goes to student 6, section 7 goes to student 7. But that's really good feedback. I can take that back to our team. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
a
and then
cool feature.
Alice, one thing I would do is I'm gonna go ahead and just rename
Oh, yeah,
this
please.
section to be student
You just
1.
double click on. It's really easy to rename those.
And when I do Control C, Control V, and I do that, it automatically makes it student 2. So if you have a naming convention, or if you ever put a number at the end of the name of any section, it'll make the next numerical number in that order. So you can do, student 2, student 3, student 4, and then just really quickly, you can make one section that is all the directions. Maybe it's even the activities, it's embedded YouTube videos. And then all you gotta do is a couple Control C, Control Vs, and then you have it preloaded for all of your students.
All right, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you what I made for my students for tomorrow, just to kind of introduce them back into the FigJam. So I'm going to go to figjam.new, and I get this open canvas, and then I made a section. Zoom out here, that's too big. I made a section. I'm going to change it to a blue background, and then I put my directions here. So I'm going to make a text box. These are my directions for what I want them to do in the section. Let me make this font a little bigger. And then I went through and I started making sections for each group, right? So here's what I want group 1 to do. I'm going to rename that to group 1 and change the color. And if I had elements that are in there, I would put that, but I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to zoom out, Control C, Control V, Control
Hey, there you go.
Control V, and I'm going to stack this one down here. And I love how it like automatically lines things up for me. Like it helps me out. See, like it became nice and neat. And then here's something I did. So Lauren, I don't know if you think this is a good idea, but I made a table of contents.
I love that. I think that's genius.
And it was really easy to do. So I literally just made a section, right? So it's the section thing down in the toolbar. It's a button down in the toolbar. And I just draw a rectangle. So it's super easy to do. So with group 1, I just right clicked and I did copy link to section. So then over here, I added a text box and I just typed group 1 and I hyperlinked it to that section. And then I come over here to group 2 and I right click, copy link to section, get a text box.
Yeah, and Alice, while you're doing that, I think that's fantastic, especially when you're getting these boards or these FigJam files are a little bit bigger. There's multiple things going on. I think anything you can do to anchor students into a place where they can come back to and find things, or if they're trying to find a different group because you're showcasing to the entire class the amazing stuff that group 5 is doing. I think this is great. I think anything that just makes the process more streamlined for them. And you know the needs of your students, right? Like this is what we want teachers to be doing inside of FigJam is get to know your students first. Don't get to know FigJam first. Know your students. You're the true professionals when it comes to engaging them and moving them forward in their learning, and then figure out how you can tweak things inside of a file like this to meet their very specific needs.
Now you don't need to do the table of contents. I was getting fancy because I loved this right click
It's
copy.
fun. Hey, get fancy.
But I just made something just really this simple that I just made a section for each group. And then I had a little directions box. I don't want this to say section 1. I want to say directions. And so it just got me going really quick that I can just share this with them. And they have this open canvas space to share their ideas, to brainstorm. You know, it's very simple to add pictures and images. So putting in what their work is, and it's good to go.
Nice. Right. I love it.
Over here, let's just see if we have any questions that we can. Oh, yay. Someone likes my table of contents. Appreciate that. Yes,
yeah, any other questions?
Features, and if you guys want to hang around for just a couple more minutes, David's going to just do a quick, like, here's some advanced features for those of you who are like, yeah, I got it. I got a pen tool. I got sticky notes. I'm creating sections. What else can I do? So he's just going to give you a quick preview. But before we do that, I do want to point out that Eric Kurtz is going to go further. Let's get over there to Eric Kurtz one. Oops, that's not the right page. I had it the same
I
one.
see you on there. I think
I
you
see you
scroll
on
over
there.
to the right.
Yeah, just to the right.
Different tab like a dope. Okay. So please make sure that you go to bitly/FigJam1023. I'm going to put that link down there, bit.ly/FigJam1023. Now, I know you guys all know who Eric Kurtz is. He's amazing. He's a really good presenter, and he's going to give you a lot of great information about how to use FigJam for schools. I really would encourage you to attend. You want to learn more about FigJam? Eric Kurtz has something coming up on October 5th and October 10th. So those are coming up really quick. So make sure you give those a registration. The registration is free. And did I mention it's Eric Kurtz? Because he's awesome.
Yeah, Eric will be great. David will be on that live stream as well. So you can see his true FigJam magic. From Ohio.
Nice.
Eric Kurtz, big Ohio person.
Is from Ohio. All right, and someone asked how you show the hiding feature. So I'm going to just put this Eric Kurtz into a section, which is really simple to do. Literally just lasso it, right click, and is that right? I right click? I haven't done the hiding. How do you hide?
Oh, no, click on the section. Just click on it.
Yeah.
So if you actually scroll up a little bit and click on the name of the section.
Hide section.
And then, yes, there you go. And I think you might be dancing between two different accounts because I can't see the top of it, but I think you're good.
That was the practice one when we did the previous one. That we are not good.
Nice. There we go. There you go.
There you
little
go.
eyeball.
Yeah.
Look for the eyeball.
Collaborating with myself.
And the jury's still out. Like we, the EDU spaces. Do we want to call this sleeping sections? Do we want to call it hiding sections? Folks in the chat, you can let us know what this should officially be referred to.
I hide
because
them.
You hide them. You sleep them.
Yeah,
I would hide them. Now I can hide more than one at a time, so I can slow reveal my lesson, which I love that. I literally don't share my Google Slides with students because I don't want to reveal it yet. Like I'm building up anticipation and we're engage, explore, and I don't want the explain part to be available until I'm ready. So I love this feature about being able to hide them.
Hide them, please. We want them awake.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Now make sure that you check out Eric Kurtz. There we go. And
right.
So any more
advanced things? What do you think?
I'm sorry, Lauren, what?
Should we show some more advanced things if anyone wants to stick around?
Let's do it. So,
Awesome.
David, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you see? I think I might have it in backstage right now. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yep. Oh, you got it?
Like the Matrix.
I don't know. Maybe I think I'm sharing the StreamYard. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen really quick.
Okay.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone now. Well, while David's coming back, does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? Well, we have Lauren here. Oh, this won't be our last time with Lauren.
Here he is.
Apologies. You stop sharing the screen, and I left the studio. So good.
Me all the time. I couldn't even get the stream to work in the first place. So
gotcha.
I've never had
We're all learning together.
Yeah. So Sherry is definitely going to be checking out the Eric Kurtz session. So that's going to be awesome. Okay, David, take it away.
Cool.
We can see it.
But he's just going to give you a quick preview. So it's going to be fast on purpose so that we can get you to want to go to Eric Kurtz's advanced session and my later advanced session. So go right ahead.
Yes, this would be like drinking out of a fire hose. But I guarantee you, these are all things that like my students showed me. Again, working with this at the middle school level, all stuff that they showed me was necessary and awesome inside of a FigJam. So yeah, let's go ahead and do some stamps really quick. So inside of some bonus features that you will have inside of a FigJam is you can go ahead and do some stuff like adding in different links. You can go ahead and add in like was shown earlier, the YouTube videos. You can also open up this iframe and you can maximize that and minimize this so that students can watch videos without having to leave the page. You can even edit Google Docs. So here I have like an essay that I'm working on, the water cycle. And if Lauren's in this Google Doc as well, I can see Lauren editing. So you can see Lauren's right here. Lauren is editing right alongside of me. So a Google Doc it's amazing. It's really an incredible spot where students can work, and you can package your lessons all in one space. Students can hop between Google Docs, whether they have a Google Slide or a Google Sheet, and they don't have to leave the tab of the FigJam. So this is really nice for organization and for learners that were like me that just couldn't keep track of all their pages. This one's really fantastic. Stickers are really fun, and there's a lot of things you can do with stickers. You can share feedback. Stickers are down here in the bottom. So if I go down to stickers and I just typed in arrow, you can find some good stickers inside of the more section. And the stickers can be directional. They can tell students to do things or go places. They can also be feedback. So if students get A+, I probably would have been seeing a lot of these in 5th grade for myself. But yeah, stickers are really fun to really bring the ideas to life. Yes, you can also go and add annotations. You can flip things up to the left and right. So if students are putting where maybe you have a PDF in here of a poem, they can annotate, they can add in different things. And you can also customize your files with stickers. This is my actual favorite sticker is this sticker set. If you go into here and you can go to stickers, you can scroll down. It's this one right here. This is my favorite one, this Mind Blown. It's the best. So there's sticker sets that can keep things consistent that are really fun. And you also have, yeah, this one's a fun one. And you can also have some little things called widgets. I want you to imagine these like little apps that can live on and inside of your canvas. So this one's great. It's a photo booth widget. So I can go ahead and take a photo real quick. And just like the classic cameras we all maybe I didn't grow up with, but the Polaroids, they can now be added onto the canvas. This is great for students like get to know yous. You can also add voice widgets. So this is a great one for maybe the beginning of the year when students are sharing with the class how to pronounce their names. This one's fantastic. You can also add text onto the note if you'd like to. You can shrink it, minimize it. And now I have a nice little card that has some cool little stamps and also has how to pronounce my name on it. So it's great for get to know yous. There's also fun little widgets that are dice. So if you're doing stuff with probability, rock, paper, scissors, you can see if Lauren joins me in this one, we could play rock, paper, scissors really quick. And ooh, I'm going to go with choosing this. Let's see if Lauren goes for something else. And then, yeah, you can choose it, play with each other. Also, the spinner is really fun. This one's great for when you're trying to call on someone. Or I always had to open up another tab and had like 4 different tabs open of the wheel of names. But this one's nice because whoever's in the file, they will populate onto the spinner. So if you're trying to call a student at random, that's really nice. Tables are great. You can add tables down here in the bottom. You can add a table as you go. You can change the heights, the dimensions. You can also add into these tables. You can copy and paste tables into a Google or from a Google Sheet into let me actually just grab one really quick. So I have a table right here from a Google Sheet, and this table I can view and I can check out inside of my FigJam. And if I were to copy and paste this, I could bring it into, so again, that's a Google Sheet. I could bring this into my FigJam, and now this is editable. So I can change things around. You can also copy and paste them from ChatGPT or other methods of sheets. It's pretty fantastic. So now this is all can be read, which is pretty fun. Sheets are tables are awesome. Comments are really great. Comments are nice for when you're trying to just add really quick feedback. To add a comment, again, I know we're going really fast. You can add the C key or hit the C key, and then you can type inside your comment. So I said, great idea right here to Lauren. And then I can also go into Lauren's comment and I can add threads of comments. I can say, wow.
You couldn't comment period on Jamboard, which I always wanted to.
And this one I found specifically with middle schoolers was nice because students they're engaging in short format comment threads on TikTok, on Snapchat, and a lot of other spaces. So I use this as like a great way to teach digital literacy and citizenship. How and why might we use shorter format messaging when we're giving feedback or when we're just adding a quick little idea to someone's thinking? And how can we do that in a thoughtful and empathetic way? So comments are great. It's the C key.
I'd also just add to that just like in Google Docs and Slides, when you get a comment, it goes to your email. So just in the same way you're used to giving students feedback, they reply to you, you respond back, etc. Works very much in the same way.
I can also tag Lauren, as you're seeing right here. I can tag Lauren.
You can tag people. You can add emote responses. So yeah, the comments is a good one. That was always wild. You couldn't comment in Jamboard.
David, I think you have a new fanboy.
Really, I love it.
Oh,
David, you know what we should show them right before we wrap up? Why don't you show them the timer and
yes.
then templates maybe to leave them with a little something?
Okay, Lauren, do you think I can do it in 2 minutes? I'll set a 2-minute
Yes,
timer.
yes.
So I'm going to set a timer inside of FigJam. And as you can see, the timer is going, it's engaged. I could even play music. So this one's really nice when you're giving students like, hey, let's actually take 6 minutes of think time. And you can put some music on. I like the lo-fi hip hop, and students can go ahead and they can chill. They can add their thoughts, maybe show in, or maybe just, add in how their weekend was. You can let them know how they're doing. And then the templates. So templates are up here in the top left. And let's say if I just, as a teacher, you're strapped for time, but I want my students to have a group process when they're creating a story together. So I can go into templates for the classroom. I can add in a circle map. So the circle map is right here. Boom, bada bing, right there for them. But I want them to do more than just a circle map. I also want to go here and I want them to do some tree diagramming. So they're going to go through their different chapters. And let's actually delete this one. I want them to diagram in sticky notes. And again, I know I'm going super fast. I'm going to go to one more and let's see if there's
so easy to move it all around.
I know it's so nice. And then here we have the story arc. So right now I have my directions in here and this is a lesson for them. So maybe I could go through, like Alice showed earlier, name them all to be group 1, duplicate them, and then just kind of bring them down. And right here, I have a prepackaged lesson that I made I know I did it fast because I've done this before, but within a couple of minutes, you can have pretty robust lessons and activities for students to do that are collaborative, where here in the circle map, they're adding in sticky notes, they're brainstorming what their narrative could be about. And then over here, they're synthesizing it, or they're just kind of doing some different scatter plot ideation, adding in where it, could be happening in their story. And then finally, they're here working on a story arc with setting details, plotting out their character, talking about the lessons learned. And these are all sections. So you can hide these if you want to. And these are all organized by sections. So that's, kind of your last little cherry on top. All of us here at Figma for EDU, we're all former teachers, and we just are super pumped that you are excited, and we're high-fiving here to end it. You hear the little jingle and chime. And Alice, anything, any kind of closing parting thoughts?
Question, is it available in Spanish?
So right now the UI, so like the elements that you're seeing are right now just English and Japanese, but we're rapidly working on other languages as well. Okay. So you can use it to type in Spanish text or anything like that, but the file picker will not say that in Spanish per se.
Can students see other students' pages if you don't want them to see? So just like Google Sheets and Google Slides, it is a collaborative document and is intended to be together. So you would do individual copies if you didn't want them to see each other's.
Yeah, and students can create their own FigJams. So I often had sometimes like a prompt, and then students would link it, or they'd create their own. They'd start from scratch. Some students want to do more visual tracking when they're thinking of something or adding something in. So they can always create their own files too.
And French is coming?
Yeah, we're actively working on all of those languages. We'll this put LMSs out of business, Jerry? Wow, that is a strong endorsement, but I think we're a ways away from that. But I appreciate the ego boost. View only for parents. Yeah, I see that question from Willie. You can go up to the share button up there and press, you can share it so that it is view only for parents, easily share it through your LMS, through email, however it is you like to communicate with the parents.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, so we are going to regroup and we're going to do this again and get a little bit more into it. What we just wanted to do today was to share with you why we were excited that this announcement from Google was not a disappointment. It is exciting because it is everything that we've always wanted, and it's really easy to use. And so I'm really excited to share that with you. And then we'll give you some extra features down the line. So I hope that gets you started. FigJam.new. And don't forget to sign up for your free educator account. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for having us, Alice. Have a great night.
Thank you. Take care, Alice.
Wherever you are. Bye, y'all.